Hi there, I am Sarah Colas. Welcome to the Dressing Up podcast, where we talk about all things bridal, dresses, and general dressing up topics. I love to encourage women to dress up while expressing their personal style with confidence on how to do so. Visit sarahcolas.com to book a bridal alterations fitting or even inquire about designing the custom couture bridal gown of your dreams. I'm so excited to talk to you about this next topic. Let's get started. This episode is for all of the mothers out there. This is going to be for particularly mother of the bride and or mother of the grooms, but also if you're just a mother in general, maybe you have babies at home, I don't know. This just might be fun to listen to kind of like see what's happening like in your distant, very distant future as a participant in your child's wedding. But before I do that, I want to just kind of give you another little update on something fun. So one of the day of styling jobs this year was with bride Janine Colhe and her fiance Tyler. And I worked basically all day at their wedding at the Book Tower in Detroit, Sweetest Heart of Mary, for the ceremony. And I just want to give you a little recap. It was just such a wonderful day. Janine is phenomenal. She is down to the details. She did an incredible job planning this wedding. And there was no detail missed. I mean, the space was absolutely gorgeous. The day flowed so smoothly. I mean, no wonder it did, because we also had Kayla from the Flower Alley, Kata Events, helping with everything. And she does a phenomenal job. I work with her all the time. So it was just like an absolute incredible day. Janine is very detail oriented. So I always feel like there's an extra special place in my heart for people that are so detail oriented, because that's me. I do feel like the type of bride that she was kind of the type of bride I was too. And I would have appreciated this sort of help on the wedding day. So I was so happy and honored to help make her day easier, more stress-free, more calm. And I'm just so honored that I got to be there and be a part of it and witness it and just help her through the most important day of her life. I'm going to share with you what she texted me just the day after her wedding. It was so sweet. She says, "Thank you so much," in all caps, "for yesterday. You made our day absolutely perfect. My whole family was raving about you, and the video was adorable." I posted, of course, a video on my Instagram right after the wedding. But so sweet. Thank you so much, Janine. I am so happy that I was there. I also altered Janine's dress, and she had this little like topper thing that was so stinking cute that went over the dress. And something that was amazing actually about that, I'm glad I brought that up, because I was there as a day of stylist, it looked extra special when I just had a couple tacks, like sewing tacks put in there, and we had planned on doing that because we knew I was going to be there. So just that extra little detail of having me there and being able to do things like that is just like the cherry on top of everything. So anyway, I mean, Janine herself is just like a gorgeous human. She's drop dead gorgeous. She's beautiful. So it didn't take much, but the Cala Room in Plymouth did a phenomenal job with her hair and makeup. All of that was right on schedule, ran smoothly. I showed up and steamed out all the dresses, got her gown hung up all nice and pretty with her veil. Photographers showed up. We had Andrea Lynn Photography and then her assistant Ashley, and they started right away with flat lays. We were just running like right on schedule all day, which was so amazing. Their first look was so stinking cute. I loved it. And then we flowed into the ceremony. That was beautiful. Yeah, everything was great with the ceremony. And then we went into some more photos at the venue, especially with like the first look into the reception space that had like a very garden atmosphere to it. Lots of florals, lots of beautiful decor. It was just like so refreshing. And then the Flower Alley did this insane, gorgeous flower arrangement up the staircase there into Campers, which is the bar where the cocktail hour was. So I hung out while they went and did cocktail hour for a little bit, and then I helped her get her bustle and her topper taken off, and then she went into her grand entrance into the reception, and that's when I left. Another added benefit that I'm just remembering is her bustle, because obviously I altered her dress, but then I was there as her day of stylist. So we intentionally planned her bustle so that she had a cocktail hour bustle and then she had a reception bustle. So the cocktail hour bustle was just a little bit of a longer look, so it's just very elegant and beautiful. Not super functional for dancing though. So after cocktail hour, we bustled it up further for the reception so she could really move and dance. But it was just kind of fun to have two different bustles. And that's kind of only an option if I'm going to be at your wedding. Otherwise, it's just far too complicated for your bridal party to figure out. Anyway, without further ado, we're moving on to this Mother's episode. Enjoy. Let's first talk about the dress and just get that out of the way. So, dress budgets for Mother of the Bride. I'm sure so many of you are wondering, like, what's appropriate? What's normal? How much am I supposed to be spending? I have found that people tend to have very low budgets, at least to start. And you're trying to find dresses in that low budget. You're not finding anything, so then you might up your budget. I have heard that many mothers start out with $100 dress budget. You're not going to find anything in that price range. Okay. If you do, it's a heck of a find. Call me crazy, but I do think an $800 budget is pretty healthy. There might be some of you on here that are like, oh, yeah, that seems appropriate. But for those of you that like are screaming at me, like, really, I just want that number to sit with you for a bit. Think about this. As a woman, when it comes to big dressing up moments in your lifetime, you have prom, you have your wedding day. And then what would be the next biggest thing? I argue it would be your child's wedding day. When else is it more important to dress up and feel beautiful? I feel like those are the top three moments in a woman's life as far as dressing up goes and wearing a beautiful dress. What could possibly be bigger than that? The bride spends thousands on her gown, and you can very well justify spending a small chunk on your dress too, if that is something that you want. I alter many mother of the bride and groom gowns where they're actually spending thousands on their gowns. Those gorgeous Carolina Herrera gowns, or just custom gowns in general, but you can also find a lot in the $800 budget price range. Now, of course, if you can't afford that, 100%, don't pressure yourself. Don't put that pressure on you. There's other options. Just really go for a hunt. Go to those sale racks, the clearance racks, really be digging online. Also, I found like if you go to the bridesmaid dress company websites, the bridesmaid dress company that I like is Azazie, Azazie, I believe. Also, secondhand stores, guys. Secondhand and vintage stores, don't overlook those. You can get some really good stuff. They might be old, they might be old fashioned, but everything comes back in style eventually. You just might find something. But for now, if you're looking in roughly the $800 budget or higher, I'm going to give you some brands to check out. So go ahead and grab a pen. So MacDougall, MacDuggall, the Sal brand, Amsale. I really like that style of dresses. They're very drapey. The fabrics are very thin. So if you're the type of person that wants structure, that doesn't want to show every bump and ripple, maybe don't go that route. But if you want to, I mean, at least look these dresses up. They are very pretty. Amsale. You also have JJ's House. Those ones tend to be a little bit cheaper. You have Sachin Bobby, Sachin space Babi. Then, of course, try the bridesmaid dress brands. I do love me some Carolina Herrera too. Those ones are more expensive, but look them up. They are gorgeous. That's for a lot of online sites. I know you're yelling at me and you're like, yeah, but where can I go in person and try them on? I am a huge fan of shopping for dresses in person. I hear over and over and over again how the mothers are buying 20 dresses online and then returning 19 of them and keeping one. Okay, that's just like a nightmare, right? I understand. So the in-store options, I would highly, highly recommend Becker's Bridal Outlet as my number one. They're in Lansing, okay? And you're like, yeah, but I live in Metro Detroit and that's too far away. It's not too far away. They have roughly 500 dresses in person to choose from, and you can take it home that day. Or if it's not in your size, they can order it. I mean, how amazing is that? Where else can you go and try on 500 mothers' dresses? You can't. So they have it. Make the drive, invest in yourself and make this experience, spend the time, and just go and have fun with it. If you go early enough, they can order you a brand new one in your size. If you are within 4 hours of Becker's, I say go. It is worth it. And if you're thinking that Lansing is just too far away, I would say, well, you really don't have many other choices. Of course, you can go to the malls and, look at the department stores. That's an option, but they just don't have as much as they used to. They're just not carrying them as much as they used to. Those department stores I found have lots of options online, which again, you can go the online route, but don't think that you can walk into any mall department store and find a whole slew of dresses. You're just not going to. You might get lucky and find just the one, though. I understand that. There's a small number of local shops in Metro Detroit, like the department stores, but also There's Hannah Abood Bridal in Dearborn. She does customs if you have a big enough timeline to work with. And then Gina's Bridal in Milford, I heard, has a few. And then call Ivory Loft in Fenton, and they might have a small selection. Not huge, but I know that the owner there is just such a fashionista and she just chooses just the most gorgeous dresses. But I would call before you go to see what kind of selection that they have. And then shameless plug, I also do complete custom dresses. I need 6+ months, and you can expect, okay, don't kill me. You can expect a $5,000 budget. Don't strangle me. These gowns are a ton of work, and we are often spending 1,000 to 2,500 just on fabric easily because I'm a fabric snob and I'm only going to get you the best of the best fabrics. We're not going cheap with that. After all the work that we put into it, I want to make sure that the fabric is high end. My complete custom gowns are completely made on American soil with American labor, where all the other gowns that you find in stores and online are much, much less expensive, made with overseas labor. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but I just wanted to shed a tiny ounce of insight on that. Okay. So if you're interested, reach out. I mean, there is no harm in sending us an email and wanting more information. Of course, you can look at the website as well. But if you're like slightly hesitating, like, I kind of want Sarah Colas to make me a dress, I would love to do that. Let's just start chit chatting about it. We can do whatever color you want, whatever style you want. I can help advise you on what's going to look best with your body shape, with the style of the wedding. It would be amazing. I have done many, many of these. So you can also check out the website just for some examples. I could talk about mother of the bride and groom dresses all day long, but I'm going to have to wrap this up here soon. But one last thing I want to touch on is dress colors. Okay. The color of your dress. Obviously, the bride's wearing white or ivory, or maybe she's wearing a different color, but those are rare. If the bride doesn't specify what color dress you should wear to the wedding, then don't even ask. Okay. Don't even ask. If you ask anyway and she says, I don't really care, then trust me, she really doesn't actually care. Well, she cares, but she is just happy for you to wear whatever you feel comfortable in. I have heard this so many times. I mean, of course it happens with mother of the bride, but especially mother of the groom. Like, you want to try so hard to make the bride happy and you want to make sure you're wearing a color that the bride is going to approve of. But if she says she doesn't really mind what color you wear, like, she really, really means it. It's so easy to like try and put pressure on the bride. But yeah, but what color? But what color? But what color? She doesn't mind. And if you force her to give you colors to choose from, then she's just gonna like tell you some colors, and then you're gonna struggle even more to find a dress in those colors, and then you're gonna feel bad if you found a dress that's not in those colors but you want it anyway, and then you feel like you have to get her approval, and it's like, it's just too much. Just don't involve the bride any more than you possibly have to, at least in regards to your dress. So if you do kind of force her to give you some direction, don't feel like you have to go that direction, and don't feel like you have to get permission before you buy. You can buy your dress, and if she later asks like, oh, what's your dress look like? You can show her, but you can say, I already bought it. Like, it's already done. I would maybe try and sway away from the bridesmaid dress color, but trust me, even if you wore the bridesmaid dress color, I am sorry you have to hear this, but trust me, nobody is going to mistake you for a bridesmaid. Okay, so just don't even worry about it. So if the bridesmaids are wearing green and you found a dress that you just absolutely love in green, or that's your favorite color to wear, just wear it. It's not a big deal. I really don't think it is. And if you're super concerned about it, then ask the bride. Be like, I found this dress I really love. It's in green. Are you okay with that? Yeah, great. But also, there's a million gazillion different shades of all of the colors. So, I mean, maybe the bridesmaids are like a dark green and you're looking at a sage green. Those are two different colors in my book. Totally different colors. Don't mind at all. From what I've found, speaking with brides here in person, 99% of them don't mind at all what the mother of the groom is wearing. They just want them to be comfortable. Obviously, physically comfortable, but also just comfortable with the style of dress that you're wearing. They want you to feel beautiful and feel good in your dress, just like they want to. Don't make your dress your son or daughter's problem. Take your friends' opinions with a grain of salt. It's very easy to maybe not want to bother your son or daughter with your dress choice, which I totally get and I totally support. But then you end up kind of asking your friends, like, oh, what do you think of this dress? What do you think of this dress? And what I've found is that friends, especially like once you're in a little bit of the older generations, friends tend to give their opinion based off of what they would wear. not off of what they think you should necessarily wear, if you understand what I'm saying. I have found that friends of mother, the bride, and groom will try to tame you down. I sometimes have mothers in here that are wearing like kind of like louder dresses that are just like gorgeous and fashion and chic and just kind of different, right? And they're fabulous dresses. But they'll tell me their friends did not like it because it's just too much. I think that might also be a Michigan and or Midwest thing that we are very afraid of dressing up in general. So I say take all those opinions with a grain of salt. I would trust maybe your spouse's opinion a little bit more over your friends, maybe. But also at the end of the day, trust your own opinion. I would say put the dress on, look in the mirror before you show anybody else so that you can see what your own opinion is without those outside influences quite yet. Okay, people often ask me about trains on mother's dresses. I am all for it. Okay. Again, your prom dress, your wedding dress. When else can you wear a train? I mean, I'd argue you can wear a train as a guest at a wedding, but I realize some people don't like that. I think it's completely acceptable for a mother of the bride or mother of the groom to have a little bit of a train on their dress. We're not talking massive, okay? I've never seen a mother of the bride or groom come in with a giant ball gown dress with a train, okay? We're not going to outshine the bride just by having a little bit of a train on our dress. And the best part is, especially if you come to me for your alterations, we can bustle it up so that when you're dancing and when you're at the reception, the train is not dragging behind you. So it's super functional and it also looks kind of cute. I've also found that brides don't really care about this either. You don't even have to ask her. Don't even ask her, oh, should I keep my train? Brides get asked so many questions. Just make a decision and move on. Okay, so alterations. Plan for 100 to 300 being pretty normal. If you need a lot of alterations done, you can hit more like 4 to 500, quite easy. The key point here is to try and purchase the dress in the correct size for the least expensive alterations. I have found that a lot actually. Mothers aren't buying dresses in their size for various reasons, but if you want to keep alterations costs low, buy it in your size. Hems that have a sheer outer layer tend to show the shoes, which I think is totally fine. My opinion, you're wearing this dress all day long, you're on your feet, you're talking to people, you're walking around, you're working, you're doing a lot. So I suggest the hem comes up off the floor a little bit. If you're looking to book an alterations appointment with me, then you will book a first non-bridal fitting at sarahcolis.com, sarahkolis.com, about a month before the wedding is great. And or you can bring your dress when you come in for the bride's first dress fitting. If you happen to be coming with her, you can just bring your gown and bring your shoes and we'll squeeze you right into her appointment. But you need to bring your shoes for that appointment. Otherwise, I can't do anything. We need to see it with the shoes so I can know what length to do. Don't buy the dress several sizes too big, and don't buy it too small and plan to lose weight. I've seen that disaster one too many times. Embrace who you are right now and order that size. Shoes, we're going for comfort, ladies, okay? We're going for comfort. You're going to be wearing these shoes all day long. Please do not be too ambitious with your shoes. Pointed toe shoes will always show, so keep that in mind. I personally don't think there's any problem with seeing your shoes, but I know there's ladies out there that are terrified for people to see their shoes. So if that's you, I wouldn't get a pointed toe shoe because those will always protrude forward. And I would just say, just in general, be different in the style that you choose. Don't be afraid of fashion. Go for it. Have fun with it. Okay, so, whew, man, I am past all the dress talk, okay? So there's all my opinions laid out for you when it comes to mother of the bride and mother of the groom dresses. Moving on. Oof, heavy topic here, ladies. Heavy topic. Family drama. Oh my goodness. I know, I know, I know. For people listening that's not a mother of the bride and groom, well, first of all, thanks for being here. This is kind of fun that you're here listening in. But if you're a mother of the bride or groom, I can almost guarantee you're like, yeah, we have drama. Yeah, we have things going on. And maybe it's not family drama, but maybe it's drama with like one of the bridesmaids or one of the groomsmen or the aunt or uncle that is driving you insane. So I know that there's stuff that happens with weddings. If you are immune from this, round of applause, congratulations. But not many of us are. We have all these things going on. We all do, right? It's hard to be immune from it. First of all, something I want you to know. As a mother of the bride or groom, the couple loves you so much. Okay? when things are going south, when things are feeling stressful, when you're upset about something, just remember that they truly do love you so much. And sometimes it just gets to be a lot for the couple. And sometimes maybe they're not fully thinking of your emotions and how you feel. But just remember in those moments, at the end of the day, they love you so much and they're doing the best that they can. You might feel like you are out of the loop and not given much information. I hear that a lot from mothers, and I especially hear that even more often from mother of the grooms. If this is your scenario, I want to give you a different perspective that maybe you haven't thought of before. Your daughter in law, at the end of the day, doesn't want to disappoint you. It comes from a place of respect, as weird as that sounds. You might ask the bride about something about the wedding, then naturally you give your opinion. And then, even if it is truly coming from a place of love, she might now feel like she has to take your advice because she really wants to please you and she wants you to like her. So, if she's withholding information from you, it might just be because she has made up her mind on certain things and she isn't looking for input from anybody. Trust me, she isn't just doing that with you. She does that with other people as well. It is her way of keeping internal peace. I hope that this is getting through to you a little bit or that you might slightly understand. She might be so sure about certain decisions that she's made that she doesn't even want to share those decisions with people in general because it is very stressful to hear other opinions on a topic that you've already put in the past, that you've already decided on. And now she feels like she's disappointing you. And that can happen with your son or daughter. I just see it happening more often with your son, especially as the mother in law is talking about wedding planning, typically with the bride and not her son. So I'd urge you, if you're having issues or you want to ask about the wedding, but you feel like slightly uncomfortable talking to the bride, or you feel like she's too overwhelmed or you're not getting the answers you want from her, go to your son. I hear this all the time from the bride. She's like, oh, my mother-in-law is bugging me about this and about this and about this. And I'm like, oh, why doesn't she just talk to your son about it? And she's like, exactly, talk to him about it. You know, we just want to jump over the guy and get straight to the girl. But I would say, above all, if you're having issues of any sort, always go to your son or daughter and talk to them about it and have open conversations, okay? Easier to do that and come from a place of love and wanting peace and wanting to make things better and not coming from a place of just yelling at them. One strategy I would suggest, and this is best if started right at the beginning of the engagement. And honestly, I think this is just good life advice for just everybody. I mean, you're talking to Sarah Colas here. These are all my opinions, guys. These are my opinions. These aren't facts. I'm just sharing with you thoughts I've had from working the job that I do. So, one strategy I would suggest is whenever you talk about the wedding with the couple, end it with a, but at the end of the day, it's your decision, and I'm excited to see how it all comes together. Basically, always giving them an out. Like, for example, like my wedding, people would ask me, like, oh, what are you doing, like, for a band or a DJ? And I'm like, oh, I haven't decided yet. I'm leaning towards a band, but I'm not sure yet. And then people would give their opinion and say, oh, I like bands better because it's so much more lively and fun. Oh, I like DJs better because it's cheaper and you just don't need a band. You just don't need that. So people always give their opinion, and then you're like, okay, now I like feel really bad if I don't like take their advice, no matter who it is. But if you end it with, oh, I like bands better because it's just more fun, then always end it with, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. And like, if you want a DJ, then go for a DJ. It's whatever you want. And I'm excited to see what you pick. That just takes the weight of that conversation off their shoulders, that they truly can do whatever they want at the end of the day because they will. They will do whatever they want at the end of the day. So I think that having that sort of attitude where you're giving them an out makes it that they'll tell you about more about the wedding, that they feel comfortable and welcome to share more with you because you're allowing them to do what they want, not because they feel like every time they talk about the wedding, you're just giving them more demands on how they should run things. I hope that my point is coming through. Okay, next topic. You might feel like they're going over budget. Oh, I know, guys, it's 2026. Post-COVID weddings are far more expensive than they once were, and they're far more expensive than when you got married in the 80s or 90s or whenever it was. I would say the key is to focus on what their top 3 priorities are for the wedding and spend the budget in those ways. And I'm just talking regardless of who's paying for it, okay? They're top 3 things. I mean, for me, it was like my venue looking gorgeous, my dress, and honestly, I forget what the third thing was. Oh, photography. So those 3 things is where I put majority of my budget, and then I cut back in other ways. So if you might think like, oh my God, these flowers are so expensive. Well, maybe that's one of the top priorities for her. Maybe that is super, super, super important. And that's just how she wants to allocate a budget. And maybe she'll cut back in other ways. It just might not be the ways that you agree with. So now let's move on. If you are helping to pay for the wedding, although uncomfortable, you need to have tough conversations. I mean, unless you just have like no budget, then like lucky you, that's amazing. But we have a budget to stick by, and we need to have tough conversations with the couple in order to all be on the same page and keep the peace. I have heard parents giving a set dollar value for the wedding. If you're just giving them a set of money, okay, you're saying, this is how much we're giving you for the wedding. My recommendation for the strategy and how to do that is to keep a tally and pay for things as the invoice is coming in instead of just depositing all the money into their bank account. I have seen that happen where the parents just like literally write the kids a check and they deposit it in their bank account and then they just pay for the wedding, which you can do. You can do that. And that's all great and fine and like totally great. But what I love for your son or daughter is when you're at like the cake tasting appointment and they're like, okay, here's the deposit due. And like the mom, just like writes the check and just takes care of it for the bride. That just like feels good, as a kid, like having your parents do it in that way instead of like awkwardly writing your own check and handing it in. I'm giving you this perspective from the parent's perspective. I think that that just feels better for the son or daughter. But again, do whatever you want. Again, these are just Sarah Colas opinions. You don't have to agree with them. I've also seen parents pay for, say, the venue only or the photography only or whatever it may be. At the end of the day, yes, you're spending your own money, but little progress is made when the couple doesn't make budget decisions themselves. And also know what you're getting into. If you're like, oh, I'll pay for photography, think about how much that costs before you offer that because it might cost a lot more than it did in the 80s. And, you want to make sure that you're not backing out of whatever commitments you're verbally making to them because that just doesn't feel good for anybody. However, if you're a parent paying for the entire wedding, first of all, good for you. What a gift. That is incredible that you were able to do that. Congrats to that. And on behalf of the couple, thank you. Secondly, I could see how you would want to have a say in how the money gets spent. I can understand that from your perspective. So let's go off on a tangent here about budgeting and who pays for what. Reluctantly, I say traditionally the bride's family does pay for the wedding. Growing up in a family of all girls, I do quite despise that way of thinking. My parents have had to pay for a lot for weddings, but it happens. This is the way we're still living in 2026, and unfortunately, a lot is put on the bride's family financially. It also depends on cultures. I know there are other cultures, especially greatly in Metro Detroit, where it's the opposite, where the son's family pays for everything. Me personally, I just hate that. I think it should be 50-50 or split it into thirds between the couple, the bride's family, and the groom's family, or whatever people can contribute. I hate that it's always put on one side of the family. Because what if you have a family of all boys? Then you just get out of paying for any wedding whatsoever. I don't love that. Or, all girls, you're paying for every wedding. I mean, that's craziness. And I know my culture of weddings, the groom's family often pay very little, if at all. I know my sisters are going to be listening to this and going to be like, Sarah, you had so many hot takes on this episode. Like, I don't know, that was a little much, Sarah, but I'm going to go for it because I know you guys are listening and I know you want to hear about it. These are the things people don't talk about. Okay. And I know you want to hear it. I mean, even if you don't agree with my opinion, I'm just going to give it to you. Okay. This is my shameless message to all parents of boys. Please do not contribute to your child's wedding simply because they are a boy. Okay. You can simply provide a chunk of money, like I said, or you can say, I am paying for the rehearsal dinner, the band, and the florist. These are just examples. Or you could, bare minimum, again, this is just my opinion. Please don't hate me, but bare minimum, You should pay for the rehearsal dinner and your portion of the guest list at the venue. If the venue is too expensive for you to be able to afford the entire guest list that you are wanting, then this is when it's a very good idea to scale back on your guest list. Okay, you don't just assume the bride's parents are going to pay for your guest list. Okay, I don't love that. It is quite forward to expect the bride's family to pay for all of your guests. Again, every family is different. Budget expectations can be completely, totally different. At the end of the day, I'm just saying try. I'm just saying try to do what you can. And if you can't, then you can't. And that's okay. Just show up happy with a smile on your face, a positive attitude, and that's a lot more than a lot of people can say. Mic drop. What I'm saying is don't take kindness of the bride's family or whoever is paying for it. Don't take their kindness for granted. Okay? Don't take it for granted. Or have a very open conversation with them and say, hey, listen, I know this wedding is going to be so incredible and so beautiful, and it's beyond my wildest dreams for my son's wedding. I unfortunately cannot financially contribute as much as I want to. I really want to have a conversation with you about how I can help in other ways. Look at that. I mean, how amazing would that be to hear from the bride's family that's like paying for the entire wedding? I mean, that would be great. And they might say, you know what? It's okay. We're going to take care of your guest list. We're going to give you 50 people that you can invite. Or they might say, just don't worry about it, which is great for you. But at the end of the day, they don't feel like you're taking advantage of them. There's a lot of kindness and respect that's shared when you just have a conversation about it. Okay, so you might be a mother of the bride or groom that is throwing a bridal shower. Fabulous. That is so kind of you. My advice, don't ask for too much of the bride's input with decision making. If the bride really cared about something, she would speak up and tell you far in advance, but don't ask, okay? Just kind of leave her out of it. She's got a lot of things to do with the wedding planning. She doesn't need to be planning the shower. I would say same goes for the rehearsal dinner. Just in general, mother of the grooms, ask how you can help as opposed to waiting around for the bride to involve you. Make it clear that you can and want to help in any way so that she feels comfortable when something does come up that you can help with. She can be like, oh, wait, oh, this is great. Actually, my mother-in-law was asking to help with something so I could give this task to her. Fabulous. So it might not be something that she like tells you on the spot, but she'll think of you later when something comes up. Things like welcome bags, or you can help clean up after the wedding if possible. One thing I hear all the time is that the mother, the groom takes care of the welcome bags, but they involve the bride too much. If you are taking care of the welcome bags, don't even talk about them to the bride, okay? Just take care of it so she doesn't even have to think about it, okay? Don't involve the bride too much. If your daughter or son asks for your opinion, which is probably going to be rare, to be honest, you might not get asked for your opinion. But if they do, don't withhold your opinion. You can give your opinion. It's okay. Don't hide it. They want to hear from you. They're asking. So give your opinion. But of course, always end with, but do whatever you want to do. That's just my opinion. You don't have to take it. Always keep a positive light when talking about the wedding and doing wedding related activities. Do not dwell on the negative things, especially verbally, but also just like inside your brain. We don't need to dwell. We don't need to dwell on the negative things. Things will go wrong. Things will happen. Drama will happen. Things will go wrong at the shower. Things will go wrong at the rehearsal dinner. Things will go wrong at the wedding. We're not going to dwell on them, okay? These are supposed to be happy events. The bride or groom might dwell on them. I don't think they should, but they might. But you don't need to contribute to that negativity. You are there to support the bride and groom. They are not there to support you. When it comes to the bridal shower, traditionally an aunt or family friend would throw it. But in recent years, that has been very rare as showers have just gotten so pricey. The expectations have gotten so high. Again, I'm in Michigan, but I have heard that down south they do really casual bridal showers, super casual. Have people over at the house, people do a potluck. It's very inexpensive, so it's very easy to offer to host a shower. Up here in Michigan, we have high expectations. It is a whole to do and they are expensive. So I understand that a lot of people don't offer to throw the shower anymore like they used to, and it often gets passed down to the mother of the bride or the mother of the groom to host the shower. It would be nice if you offered to host, But know what you're getting into before you offer. A casual at-home shower could easily cost $1,500 still, where a venue can easily cost 3 to 6,000. The biggest rule in this, do not offer or promise anything that you're later going to back out of. This is very tacky. If you are unsure, say, "Hey bride, I may need to do a little bit more research first, but is there any possibility that you would like me to host a shower? I will have to stay within a budget, but I will make the absolute most of what I can do." Or say, "Hey, I want to offer to host your shower. I would do it at my house, but if that's something you would want, I would love to do that." Don't say, "I'm offering to host your shower." And then later the bride has all these ideas of what her shower is going to be, and it's like way more expensive than you thought. Just set that expectation right from the beginning and say, "I'm going to have a budget. I'd love to do it at my house. If that's something you'd want, then I'd love to throw that for you." Just like set that expectation. Rehearsal dinner. Traditionally, the groom's parents host the rehearsal dinner. But as always, you don't have to. The trend right now is to do a rehearsal dinner with a small group of people and then have a no host welcome party at a local bar after. So you can invite way more people to the evening, especially the out of town guests, without racking up a huge bill on paying for everyone's dinner. So it's very common that you have just the bridal party, the parents, you go out to a nice dinner together, you pay for that, and then everyone moves over to this bar where everyone else is meeting there for the welcome party. At the rehearsal dinner, I strongly recommend giving a sweet little speech or just like a welcome something. I will say my father-in-law gave me one at my rehearsal dinner, and I was crying tears of joy. It was a moment I will never forget. It just made me feel so good to hear him talk about how much he loved us. And that just made me feel so special. So if you're willing, just say a couple words. It can be 60 seconds. It doesn't have to be crazy long. Just saying, "Welcome to this party. I'm so excited for the wedding tomorrow. Thank you for these people. I am so excited to welcome so-and-so into our family, and I'm so glad that we are celebrating them this weekend." Easy peasy, okay? Okay, and then also, unless you know for sure that you will see the bride on the wedding day, the rehearsal dinner is a great moment to give him or her their wedding day gifts, if you have one for them. So if you're the mother of the groom and you're going to be getting ready on your own and you're going to be in the groom suite and you're going to be with all of the boys, you might want to give the bride your little gift to her at the rehearsal dinner. Not saying you have to give her one, but if you do, that might be a nice moment. And then you can see her reaction, and it can just be a fun little moment together without the stress of taking up wedding day time. Whew. Moving on to the wedding day itself. You want to live in the moment. Of course, you want to be an advocate for the bride or groom and make sure that you're helping their day run as smoothly as possible and make sure that they're having fun and enjoying everything. But I really, really, really hope that you have the wedding planned out well enough, and or you have a coordinator that's gonna be taking care of wedding planning activities so that you can just enjoy this big day as much as your son or daughter is. So that you can sit back and be a guest at this wedding instead of helping to run and coordinate this wedding. I'm going to say number one rule as a parent of the bride or groom, do not be late. Be where you are told you are supposed to be at the time you're supposed to be there, or be 5 minutes early. Also, don't be crazy early either. Be 5 minutes early, just ready to go. Don't appear flustered. If you're freaking out because of something that happened in the morning and you're like, "Oh my God, my shoes are so uncomfortable," or "This is going wrong," or "I heard someone say this and it made me upset," do not appear flustered on the wedding day. Appear calm, appear happy, appear excited, not overly excited. We're all calm, okay? We don't need added stress for the bride or groom. I suggest the mother of the bride and groom don't be the last to get hair and makeup done, because I would say most important is the bride, obviously, for hair and makeup. She never goes last. Second most important would be the mother of the bride. Third, I'm sorry, don't kill me, is the mother of the groom, and then all the bridesmaids, okay? So if the bridesmaids don't get the absolutely perfect hair and makeup that they wanted and something feels off, it's not as big of a deal as it is for the mother of the bride or the groom. I'm sorry, bridesmaids, but you're not as important. Okay, so don't make the mother go last. Let her go second to last or whatever, so that if she wants fixes done, she has time to get the fixes done. Speak up when you want certain pictures. Ahead of time is the best. The bride is going to be giving the photographer a list of family photos that she wants. If there is a particular photo that you want, make sure you communicate this before the wedding. But if you're realizing just in the moment on the wedding day, like, I really want this photo, go tell the photographer. You could tell the bride, you could tell the groom, but I feel like going straight to the photographer is probably the least stressful. And then also get a photo of you as a couple with you and your spouse. Get a photo of just the two of you without the bride and groom in it. Spend the most time enjoying the day for yourself. This is a big day for you. Mother the bride, mother the groom, this is a very big day for you. We want the bride and groom to enjoy their day, but we also want you to enjoy your day. Don't let anything ruin your day. Don't let it, okay? We want you to have fun. We want you to be dancing on the dance floor. We want you to be socializing. We want to be checking all of those boxes so that you have a full, complete, well-rounded, beautiful, gorgeous, enjoyable day. Okay, here's one I see all the time. You know, I work weddings as a day of stylist. Don't go missing. Why is it that the parents go missing? Like we're taking family photos and then all of a sudden one of them's just like gone. Guys, if you have to go to the bathroom, you're going to have to wait, okay? This is valuable wedding day time. If something is happening or it might happen soon, do not be missing. Do not be going to the bathroom. Do not be going and hanging out with your grandkids in the back of the church when we're trying to do family photos. Just stay present, stay here, stay with the couple. Okay, also, my wedding, my mom missed the bouquet toss. I loved my bouquet toss and she wasn't there and it made me so sad because she was talking with people in some back hallway, just chit-chatting away. Okay, so just don't be away from the wedding scene for too long. We were kind of like waiting for her to do the bouquet toss and it was just like getting so late. So we just went ahead and did it. But I have always regretted that. Don't miss any wedding big events because you're chatty with people in the back hallway. Don't ask the bride and groom about schedule on the wedding day. Oh my goodness, I'm sure you are giving a timeline. If you have a coordinator, they have a timeline. The bride has a timeline, the groom has a timeline. The wedding day is not the day to ask about the timeline. You have already been given the timeline. Do not ask them. Ask the bridesmaids. Ask the groomsmen, although they might not know. Ask the coordinator. Go straight up to the coordinator. It's okay. Go straight up to her and say, what time is this? Where am I supposed to be next? They will help you. That's what they're for. That's what you're paying them for. You could also ask the photographer. The photographer always knows the timeline. We're getting into nitty gritty now. Don't take phone calls in the getting ready room. Step outside, okay? Unless it's someone super, super important, you could just ignore the phone call. It's not a big deal. If some guest is like, where am I supposed to go? They can ask someone else. They don't need to ask you. You can just ignore their phone call, okay? Don't take phone calls in the getting ready room. Step outside. Gifting on the wedding day. Fantastic things are like family heirlooms or jewelry that you want to be passing down, or just a sentimental family item. A well-written card goes a long way. It would mean well more than you could ever know. If you can't afford to get a gift of any sort, or you're just not sure what they want, a well-written card with meaningful, sweet messages from you goes so far. I'm going to get really specific with some examples of gifts. Etsy heart necklaces. Oh, I should have worn mine today. I wear it all the time. I have this little heart necklace that I gifted to all of my sisters on the wedding day. And then my mom, I gifted her a necklace that was a circle with the 4 hearts cut out from that circle. I mean, how stinking cute. You can find those on Etsy. Waterford, anything Waterford, any other jewelry. Definitely a card from the parents. You guys, yes, I just talked about that. I hope the bride and groom does the same. I hope they give you a nice sweet card and or a gift. For men, a watch like a Shinola watch or a Seiko brand, Seiko. You could check the internet for those, or maybe Macy's. I think watches are always nice for men, or whatever else you can come up with. Maybe cufflinks or little like toiletry bags, or just anything leather is great. Make sure you get a photo with your son or daughter, just you and them. This stems from my wedding as well. My mother-in-law, unfortunately, did not get a single photo of just her and her son on our wedding day, and we regret that a lot. She did the right thing. She went straight up to the photographer on the wedding day and said, I want to make sure I get a photo of just me and my son together. And the photographer, unfortunately, kind of like shooed her away and was like, yeah, no worries. We're going to get that. We need a few minutes before we do that. And then they just never got around to it. Everyone forgot. So remember to get that. Post-wedding, I already briefly mentioned this. Dwell on all the positives. Choose to remember the happy times and not the family drama ones. The last thing the bride or groom wants to hear is regrets from you. I am sure they have their own regrets and they don't want to pile more on top of it. They don't want to hear your regrets, so don't ever tell them. Sorry, guys. I know I'm being harsh sometimes, but it's some tough stuff to hear. Oh, and then also, probably well after the wedding, ask the bride or groom for a copy of their wedding album and then pay for that copy for yourself. If you want your own copy of their wedding album, you should pay for it. Unless they like gift it to you for Christmas or something, that's always amazing. But you should be paying for your own copy, and you should want your own copy. I mean, maybe you're like, I don't really care about that. I'm fine. But if you kind of care, then make sure you get one, and don't wait 5 years after the wedding to ask for one, because it's way more complicated then. You could say something to the couple like, oh, by the way, like once you get your photos back from your photographer, if you guys are getting a photo album, like I would love to pay for one for myself as well, just so they can think of that when that stuff happens. Okay, anyway, you're like, wow, Sarah, that was a lot. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just like word vomiting all of this stuff to you, but I just want to give you this perspective because I have a lot of sympathy for mother of the bride or mother of the grooms. You're going through a lot. You're trying to manage a lot. It's not your wedding, but you're super, super involved, and it's hard to like fully accept all of the decisions that the bride and groom are making when you don't fully agree with them. And it's just a lot. And I hear a lot of venting in my fitting rooms here with the mother, the bride or groom, and they're like stressed out. They're like, this is just a lot, but you like can't say anything. It's like, it's just a tough thing to navigate. So if you ever have questions, like let me know. I can help you. If you're coming in for a fitting, please spill. Let's talk about it. Let's have a therapy session. Okay. I can help you out with that. I hear it all. Nothing shocks me anymore. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Congratulations to all the mothers out there that have a son or daughter getting married and you get to help celebrate them. I am so happy for you. As always, if you need anything at all, let me know. It was great chatting with you guys today. All right, talk to you next time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode has allowed you to approach the world with greater confidence in your own personal style. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out through email or their inquiry form on the website. I hope you are all ready to go and get dressed up. I look forward to sharing more dressing up tips with you in future episodes. Thanks so much.